see the boys because she's up at my dad's house in Northallerton at the minute.
Right.
So I went up and seen the boys this afternoon. Had an hour with them, and that was good. And just trying to find the new way of doing things, the new balance, and trying to understand what's going on and balance life out. Still hard. There's still a lot of stuff going on. And as you've seen, I've been really quiet and everything, and that you've been checking on me, you've been checking on me, and I have been taking a while to get back to people, but I know I stand up in crowds and tell people to reach out and ask for help and support, but I'm probably the worst
thing to do.
Yeah, I'm the worst one for it, and I have gone in on myself a bit and gone silent. But I've been turning up and working and just cracking on with everything. But I've just been trying to settle myself. Do you know what I mean?
Find your own momentum and way of doing things.
Yeah, exactly.
That are new to you and where you're going with stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But getting there, it's good. Work, the Lighthouse have been amazing, support me all the way. They've put me through a load of counselling, Seb through a load of counselling. They've been supporting Louise with her stuff as well. And it's like I say, it's not easy, but it's getting better. And I'm finding my feet again now. I'm actually sleeping a lot better, eating a lot better. I've lost nearly 2 stone.
You look healthy. That's what I said when I came in. I said, you look well, mate.
Yeah.
You know, from last time I saw you, which were at Jake's do.
Yeah,
it was at Jake's,
I ain't seen you since then.
No. I haven't really done much since then either. I've just sort of kept myself to myself with it all and pushing through. Like, I haven't really been talking to Lee. I've just been keeping myself
Everybody
busy.
deals with things differently. Like, I'm going through a situation at the moment and I've kept that to myself. You know what I mean? And it's only Monday where I reached out to you.
Yeah, Monday.
Because I'm so used to being on my own, with working on my own. I always deal with things on my own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people say, and I always say, talk to someone. But I don't. You know what I mean? And like they always say about advice, it's the
easiest thing to give, the hardest thing to take.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And this is it. And that's where I've been for a long time with it. And I've come through. I'm definitely through the other side of it now.
Yeah.
I'm 100% through the other side. That's why we're sat here now doing this, because I've got the motivation.
I feel like you can do it.
Yeah, I've got the motivation back now to do things like this and crack on with stuff and start being a bit more creative with everything now and build that back up. But it's not been easy. It really hasn't, and I've learnt a lot about myself. I've also learnt that it'd take a lot to stop me, if you know what I mean. I've never stopped. I've always kept moving, because I always think in my head, got to keep moving forward. Got to keep moving forward. Like, I started more routines with myself, like getting up in the morning, making the bed, opening the curtains, cleaning the teeth, just little things like that, and do it all day. Not all day, sorry. Do it every day, and do that routine. Like, I've been doing push-ups and stuff in the morning. Like, I'll get out of bed. When I first started doing it was like 5 push-ups. I'm up to 50 push-ups in one go now. And
does the push-up count as getting up off bed?
It can do, yeah. Well, the size of that granite on the end of your neck, it does, yeah. But this is it, and this is what I've been doing, and just sort of being regimental with that, and that's helping me a lot. Trying to get a lot more sleep, trying to stop drinking too much coffee, eating better, fueling myself better.
Tell me about food.
That's all you talk about.
I know.
That did make me laugh so much when you said that voice note and you're actually eating as you were all about it.
Yeah, look, you got over here, haven't you?
Yeah, well, this is it.
I enjoy my food, so.
But I suppose that's a good way. That little conversation we've had there is a good way to start the podcast. And yes, we are back. I have had a bit of hiatus, and I've been out of action for 6 months, maybe a little bit longer, really. And I'm back, and I thought, you know what? I'm in Yorkshire. I'll get the 2 Yorkshire lads to come and sit, have a chat with me, and just chew the fat and see where the conversation goes. And we can just keep going for as long as we want to, really, because there's no direction with this episode. But I know that these 2 guys have been looking after me while I've been having a bit of time out. They've been checking in on me, making sure I'm all right. And I thought I'll sort of repay the favour and come down, and we can have a conversation and just show people how we check in with each other, because if you check in with people, it doesn't have to be what you think it has to be. You don't have to ring them up and say, "Oh, I've noticed your mental health has been a bit down lately, and what's this and what's that." These two coming along, having a crack with me, are those conversations you just seen us having there, and that's exactly what it's all about. It's just starting little conversations and seeing where they're going and giving each other tips and tricks. They give me tips and tricks along the way, and I give them tips and tricks along the way, and just build it up from there. But I suppose I best let them introduce them, because I know them, and I know them both well, but you guys might not know them. So, who wants to go first?
Well, first, we are a modern Stone Age family, and we come from Bedrock, don't we, Kryss?
We do indeed.
But no, me and Kryss have known each other since we were 3-year-old.
Something like that, yeah.
We went to playgroup together, and then, because our parents knew each other.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And then we didn't sort of meet again then till you started working in
2005, I think.
Yeah.
I started in 2004. You were a year after me.
I was
You're a year
2005.
Yeah. You
So
walked into the yard at 16.
Yeah,
I'd been
16.
there a year.
Full of greenness.
Yeah,
Would you
we
say?
abused you, I think, for the first 2 weeks.
Mate, you abused me so bad. Never forget when you sent me for a long stand.
You fall for all that.
I came back. There was a mechanic's place the next door.
We sent him to Garage Coach Works next door. So we were only a small stone yard at that point, and there were a big coach works behind it. And I think I don't know if it was me or Andy.
It were Andy.
It were Andy. Sent him to Coach Works next door for a long stand, and he fell for it.
But what did I bring back with me though?
I can't remember.
I actually dragged the stairs that they use mechanics to get to get to the top at HGVs all the way up yard, and I got it halfway and I had to run up and I said, "Oh, Andy, can you give me an hand, mate? It's too heavy as this to drag up." So he came to look to see what I brought and he went, "Oh, I'm sorry, mate, that's wrong one. You'll have to take it back to get another." So I started dragging it back.
Yeah.
And he went, "Oh, mate, I'm a white."
Couldn't do it to him.
Couldn't do it to me.
He had to take it back.
Yeah. So that's when we first started working working together. I was 16, you were 17, 18, and as friendship sort of came strong, really, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean,
working together, socialising together.
Been on holiday
together.
Travelled up and down country.
Yeah.
I mean, one year I think we went everywhere, didn't we? For
Yeah,
different birthdays.
Rugby. We went Liverpool, Scarborough, Blackpool, Newcastle, Spain. We pretty much spent all this time together because you had your own place, didn't you? So
yeah, you used to always
I was still at home, so I used to always stay at Kryss's whenever we'd gone out, and yeah, we just had a good life, didn't we? You know, enjoyed ourselves.
It's
worked hard and played hard, which is what you do when you're that age, and then you grow up a little bit, don't you? The firm we worked at then, the masonry company, left, didn't it?
Yeah, so there was a big masonry company from York where we are now called William Ainley's, and we were a company called Traditional Stone. So they merged the two masonry departments together, and then I moved off and we went to a different place and worked up there. So I didn't really see James. I think we were there for about 5 years.
Yeah.
So we didn't really see much
and
of
his
each other.
friendship sort of like kind of drifted away a little bit, didn't it? Really.
Did a bit.
And then I don't know what kind of clicked, but it just started coming back, didn't it? And it just all coincided with you coming, the masonry company coming back into the firm we worked for at the time, and his friendship sort of blossomed again, didn't it? Really.
Oh yeah, it just picked up where it left off.
And it was like, even though you hadn't really spoke for 5 years, it was not that awkward feeling. You know, like you get with someone and it's like, I don't know what to talk about.
Yeah. You just picked up where you left off and carried on.
Yeah, pretty much, you know, because we've always been close anyway, so it wasn't like all weird, you know, but... Yeah.
Well, I guess working in that yard together, but obviously you worked at the same place together, you worked in the same yard for a long time, but what you do is very different to what you do, innit? So for those of you who don't know, they're both stonemasons, but James is a stone dresser, and have you got other title other than a stonemason?
Stonemason.
There you go,
stonemason, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I'm more of a banker mason. Since I've been self-employed, I've gone more into the fixer mason type of role, whereas I don't just make the stones now. So a banker mason, basically, you get something up, put it on your table, and you make something out of it, and then it goes off and somebody else puts it in. Whereas a fixer mason, I'll put that piece of stone in. So I've gone into that more now side of things than just making the bits of stone. and with general building work and stuff like that. So since I've become self-employed, I've sort of branched out a little bit more instead of just being one thing, which I never wanted to be anyway, even though I did it for 17 now years. I've sort of opened up a little bit now, and I'm fingering in different pies and stuff like that, so to speak. So yeah, I do a bit of carving as well. So
which you taught yourself as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I taught myself how to.
Oh really?
I taught myself how to carve. Yeah.
Have you always been like artistic?
I was good at art at school. I only ever focused on rugby when I was younger. I wanted to be a rugby player, and I would have exceeded if I hadn't injured myself. But I was good at art. I didn't bother with it. If I'd have done it more, I'd have been good. But it wasn't one of them things that I say that I enjoyed doing much. But working stone is a completely different thing. You know, that is something I enjoy and I'm passionate about. So I'm gonna do well if you. I've always thought if you're passionate about something, you're gonna do well at it. So
it doesn't become a job; it becomes a lifestyle, doesn't it?
Of course, it does.
More than anything,
it becomes you as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you are the Yorkshire stone dresser,
and you are Tommy Stone.
Well, I guess you touched on a bit there, like rugby. So your early part of your career, or like coming into adulthood, you were purely focused on rugby, and that's what you wanted to do, and then that all got shattered, did it?
Yeah, that's all I ever wanted to do. I only ever wanted to play rugby. I didn't want to do anything else, and I put all of my effort into that. I played rugby 3 or 4 times a week. I trained every single day. I was in the gym. I went very far. So I captained my school team throughout. I played for different clubs. But I ended up getting into Leeds in England, Elite Player Development Centre, and I was in that for a couple of years. So that's all I was focused about. That's all I ever did, and then I got injured, and that all just went away. You know, and that for me was my world ended, basically. You know, that's what started me off on the path that sort of that path to destruction sort of thing. So it just sent my head west. So I was 16-year-old. I didn't know what I was going to do then. You know, I'd put everything into it, and for that to just disappear, it were, well, what do I do now? Yeah. So then I started working, and then started doing stone thing, and then your things change, but it's still there now. You know, it's always in the back of my mind. It's just I went a bit stupid, shall we say. It got more. I was still involved in rugby on an amateur level, but it got more drink related than playing rugby. So I'd turn up and I'd play. I were all together with tape most of the time, but it turned made of chocolate, but it turned into drinking, and that's the only reason I ended up going, was to play a game of rugby and then go out drinking afterwards and just get into a mess. Which I used to get into a mess a hell of a lot.
Because you thought, well, what's the point?
Yeah, it wasn't what I wanted to be doing. You know, I wanted to be at that peak level, and because I wasn't, I couldn't handle it. You know, I couldn't handle it, and I'll openly admit it. And like I said, it sort of, my world just crumbled. You know, and to put all your effort into something that, I mean, when I say I put all my, it was literally everything. I put everything into. I was training 3 or 4 times a day and that as well. So to put everything into something and then just go, it did ruin me, and I still struggle now. You know, with the rugby side of things. I mean, it progressed from there, and I've found out since talking to different people and counsellors, and I've had counselling and all sorts of things, that it's not just the rugby thing. There was other things as well. It all adds up, doesn't it? And then it just used to escalate in me drinking. Yeah. And just getting into states.
So you're using that as a coping mechanism to ignore what was going on.
Yeah,
because it's easy to escape with it.
Yeah, drink. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't an alcoholic. I still got up and went to work every single day. But I'd be out to like 3-4 o'clock in the morning drinking, and then I'd go to work and I'm throwing big grinders and that around. It's dangerous, you know. But it helped me forget. It helped me forget basically the heartbreak of not going where I wanted to go, and all the other stuff that I was dealing with as well that I didn't know about, like the abandonment issues and stuff like that. It helped me forget all that to the drink. And I used to go out on a Friday night, and that was me till Sunday, just drinking.
Do you think you used to use the rugby as your escape from what was going on in your early years, the abandonment stuff and everything like that, and that rugby was your coping mechanism? When that got took away from you, you reached out, you found drinking as that escape instead?
Probably, yeah. You know, because the abandonment thing was before that, obviously.
Yeah.
And then obviously I threw everything into rugby, and then when that didn't happen, yeah, it probably was that rugby took over that and helped me forget about that. And then when that wasn't there, going out drinking with my mates helped me forget about that. You know, so it was a snowball effect on from there.
Because the camaraderie that you have within a team,
that helped me being in that team situation. That helped me with the abandonment. You know, with everything else that was going on, with never feeling wanted and never feeling like I had a place, going into that rugby situation and having all them lads around me.
Yeah.
Then when I stopped playing, I sort of pushed all them mates away. And these are lads that I've grown up with. And I only ever thought that they were around me and wanted to be associated with me because I was good at rugby. And that in turn made them good rugby players as well. So once that had gone, I got intimated that they weren't interested in being around me. So I, as I always do when people get close to, so I don't go through that hurt, push them away. You know, and I've done it over the years. I've done it with you from time to time. When I feel like I'm going down that path or something's going to happen, instead of them being able to make that decision and leave, I push people away. You know, and it's not only till I've got older that I've realised that I've done that over the years. I've had different friend groups. Don't get me wrong, I've always had a core group of friends, but I flit about, don't I? I mean, you've noticed that since we've been friends. I go and I hang around with different people and stuff like that, but when I feel like, shit, you know what, I'm getting a bit close to these people now, boom, I'll push these people away because I can't deal with that hurt again. You know, so it probably all has just, everything's masked each other. You know, one thing takes over another, which takes my mind off that, and then something else, and that takes my mind off that. You know, so I'd say
But you're now at the point where you're recognising that, and have you started to notice that friendships, relationships, and stuff like that are settling down now?
Well, obviously, I've just got married. I got married last year, and like I was saying, the whole thing about I feel getting close to people and I push them away so they don't have the chance to hurt me. I've never had that feeling with Louise.
Right, okay.
So she has been literally the only person that I've never thought, you know what, she's just going to abandon me. So before that happens, I'll push her away. I've never felt like that with her. I mean, I married her. You know, I've got kids with her. So I've said it joking around before that she saved my life. But she really did. You know, just have that person there that always supports you unconditionally. You know, my mum's the same. She has always supported me unconditionally as well, but it's different. You know, your mum's your mum.
Yeah, it's a different type of love, isn't it?
Yeah, so with Louise, it's, I know I've had my friends like yourself and stuff like that, but with Louise again, it's different. You know, it's having her there has really grounded me. You know, because I was wild before, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were wild.
You know, I wasn't the same person I am now. I wasn't such a nice person to be around. Don't get me wrong, I always looked after my friends and I'd be fun. But I wasn't really a good person to be around when I was drinking, especially. You know, it used to.
You were alright at first.
Yeah, but then
the more that went in, the worse.
Yeah, the other side of me come out. Yeah, the other side had come out, and I'd get. But the thing is, I didn't know when to stop. I used to just carry on and carry on and carry on. That was my problem. Not necessarily that I needed to drink. I didn't wake up and think I need a drink. It's when I started I couldn't stop. Which was never good. So the friend thing now, I do sort of flit a little bit still, don't I? You know, I'll talk to different groups of people all the time, but I have a core group of friends that I trust and I speak to very regularly. I mean, we speak every day. I have other friends that I speak to pretty much every day. You know, it has all settled down a lot, but don't get me wrong, there's still times where I get a bit, I just feel that urge to just sort of push people away and just sort of, but when I do push people away, that's when I'm at my worst. So I think it's more Louise sort of sees it and pulls me back sort of thing. She's felt it as well at times that I'm pushing her away as well. And she sort of drags me back and makes me realise, you know, come on,
Yeah.
people are around you because they want to be around you, not
Yeah.
for any other reason. You know, like when I was saying before, when I thought mates were around me because of rugby and stuff like that, they're not. You know, she's saying your friends are around you because they want to be around you. But that whole fear of people just abandoning me, sometimes it gets too much and it does take over. You know, and it's not a nice feeling to never feel wanted or that you're only wanted for certain things. Yeah, it's settled down and it's better. I do have my moments,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think the wife and kids just sort of make me sit down and realise, you know, even if I fell out with every single person in the world, I'm never losing them.
Yeah.
You know, it coming home. It's like people say to me all the time, I was like, what do you do for yourself? It's like, I go home and I see my wife and kids.
Yeah.
I go home and my son comes in downstairs straight away. Alright, Dad, you had a good day.
Yeah.
And my little girl will run up to me and go, Daddy, 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 and then she runs off and won't come near me again. But, you know, she's just wild. But, yeah, it's that whole family thing. That is me now, you know. And I've always wanted to be a dad. I've always wanted to be a husband and have that, my own little family. But I never thought it change me as much as it had. You know, because I was the first one to go out and have a beer and do whatever, and I'm not bothered for it anymore.
I was gonna ask you, what's your relationship like with alcohol now? So we've been out a couple of times and you've been on the level with it.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't take over me like it used to do.
Yeah.
You know, at one point when I was bad, I went down a dark place, and that night changed me forever, and I've never felt like that again. And it took that to happen for me to think, no, you
This
can't
is my
do
low
this.
point.
Yeah, you can't do this. You know, I mean, I did try to commit suicide. It wasn't the first time, but I was stood on a bridge waiting for the express train to come, and it came round the corner. And I mean, this was before I got Willowies, and I saw the lights coming, and I just saw my mum's face. So that was it. I was down. I was off the wall. I was like, well, what we're doing? And I've never been in that situation again. But I was smashed. You know, I'd had a lot to drink, and that was it. You know, I was in a very abusive relationship. Not physically, sorry, but mentally. I was beat down. And she made me feel worthless, and she used all them insecurities that I had, that I told her about, to make me feel even worse. And it got to that point. I was stood on the bridge, and that was the turning point. And I thought, I'm never getting like that again.
Yeah.
And that was probably about 3 or 4 days drinking. You know, not during the day, but on a night after each other. And I don't do it anymore, you know. And I can go out now, and I can have a couple of pints. We went to watch football overnight, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I had a couple of pints, and then that was it. You know, and that was the first beer I've had actually this year.
Right. Okay.
And I've had them sat in the fridge since Christmas. I didn't even drink much over Christmas, so that whole beer thing, I won't say I've cracked it, but like I was saying, it's not the pure fact that I'd wake up and I'd need a drink. It was more that I can't stop when I start. That was my problem. I mean, you've found the states you've seen me in. But I don't get like that now, you know. And it was that night on the bridge that sort of I'd gone through everything that I'd gone through, and I'd tried previously before a few times, tablets and other stuff. But that night on the bridge for me was it. And then I got counselling, so I went and had. It's about depression, anxiety, stress, anger management issues, which still flare up from time to time.
Like what we hear.
But yeah, you know, so I went and I spoke to people about that, and on occasions I've rung you and I've spoke to you about it when I get a bit jittery on times. But yeah, that night for me it changed everything, and you know, it's never been like that again. So I'd say it doesn't affect me like it used to do, but you don't know. Will it ever go?
Yeah.
You know, it's one of them.
I think you learn to live with it, don't you? And understand what you need to do to cope.
Yeah, like I was saying, that whole thing, Louise sort of drags me back and makes me think, no, we love you and we want you, you know. And it's hard because I've had friends who have committed suicide, and at one of them was one of my best friends,
Duncan.
Yeah, I had about 4 people come up to me, not just that day after, and say, if anyone thought they were going to do that, it'd be you. And that was hard for people to think along them lines. You know, these people that you call friends.
Yeah.
For them to turn around and say, well, if anyone thought they were going to do that, it'd be you. Really? You're going to tell someone that suffered with all this, that when he's at his friend's funeral, that's just done that. So, I don't think it'll ever go. But it's learning how, like you've taught me, how to learn to see it come in, and what you do with it after that is what matters.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's hard, but we do our best, don't we? Reaching out, talking.
Absolutely, mate. Thanks for that.
No, that's right.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. It's hard, you know, obviously, because a lot of people don't know how bad I was. They know I used to just get called miserable and moody.
You still get called that now?
No, I still do.
Even when you've got a smile on your face.
Or a burger in his hand.
Yeah, that's what it is.
a burger in my hand.
Well, don't worry, we're going to go and have a burger in a minute, I think.
Yeah, people don't know, even family don't know how far it actually went. So it's probably going to be a bit of a shock for them if they see and hear that. But it was bad, and like I was saying, it wasn't the first time I've got that far with it. But I'm just glad I didn't, because I wouldn't be where I am now and be in the situation I'm now. I won't be sat here. I wouldn't have my kids at home. You know, it just shows that there's always a way out.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see it. Obviously, I've had 3 or 4 friends commit suicide. It's hard, but getting like people like yourself and the Lighthouse Club and stuff like that, there is people out there that are going to help you. You know, friends. I know a lot of people can't talk to friends, but they're there.
Yeah.
Even if it's just, let's go for a beer.
Yeah.
Don't even have to talk.
You don't.
You know, you can sit in a room with somebody just to know that person's there, and that they're not there. See, that's that thing again. Like, they're not there because they feel like they have to be. It's because they want to be.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard, but.
And if like people are watching this and they've got a friend that they think is going through something like that, you don't have to give them the answers.
No.
You don't have to try and cure them.
And I think as men as well, women do this very well. If they see one of their friends struggling, they go to them. They don't wait for them to say something. They'll say, "Are you all right?" "Yeah, I'm fine." "No, are you all right?"
Yeah.
And they'll open up and they'll talk. Guys, we don't tend to do that, do we? We sort of, yeah, we're all right, and we'd let it go, but check in on your mates. You know, someone's quiet, someone's whatever. Just say, "You all right, mate?"
Yeah.
"No, but are you all right?"
Because we run a little risk assessment in our own head.
As soon as I see you now, like on your stories, I can tell when you're alright and when you're not alright. Straight away. As soon as I see his face, I think, I need to see if Kryss is alright, because I know he's not. You know what I mean? Where I'm completely the opposite, and I have a smile on my face regardless of what I'm going through. Anyway, I just...
Putting that mask on.
That is a mask that 100% goes on. 100% goes on.
Do you find that when you are finding yourself in a low period, you'll go to the extreme of being too happy and too boisterous and too...
Yeah, because it's just a way of trying to tell myself that I am alright. I'm alright, just get on with it, you'll be alright, and just get your head down and get on with it. And I don't know if that's because I've always spent so much time alone, on my own, with my own thoughts, that I think I can cure what's going on my own. And it's not always the answer. And then when people try and tell me something and I need to make a decision straight away, I can't make split rational decisions straight away. I need to go away, take time and think about things, because I overthink massively. So I need to break it all down and try and understand it in my head and then come to terms with it.
You're just finding the smallest thing can overwhelm you, like somebody could ask you stuff to do with work.
No, work's fine.
Right.
Work's always been fine. I can make pretty much a decision with work like that, but it's like other things when it's like family, relationships, stuff like that. Work, I can be very split decision because I had training when I was in management to do that, but it's the emotional side of things that I've always just dealt with on my own instead of talking to people.
Yeah.
Like when you go quiet.
Yeah.
When you go, I know when there's something wrong. James will go quiet. Well, this is the beauty of us knowing each other for so long. He can know when I'm upset because you can see it in my face. When my face tells everything, I can't hide it.
Yeah.
Whereas he can, but I know when he's quiet, there's something wrong.
Yeah,
but even when he is quiet, I'll go to him and ask him, "You alright?" He won't say anything.
Yeah.
So that's James will tell you when he's ready.
Yeah.
Like everyone's different, aren't they?
I was like, not to push him because, a lot of people have been like trying to push me over the past couple of months, and I've not bit back, but I've closed down on them.
Yeah, if you push me when I feel the way I feel, I'll go the opposite way. I won't come closer to you. I'll go further away because I just need to understand it myself.
Yeah.
And understand what's going on. Like my mum's had a health scare over the last 10 weeks, so we've had that to deal with. So all over Christmas it were very, very tough because I talk to my mum on my way to work every day, apart from if it's too early. And I speak to her every day on my way home. And I've done that for however long as I can remember. And the thought of not being able to do that, every time I spoke to her, I couldn't imagine not speaking to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was very hard.
And this is it, and we get thrown these things in life, and sometimes we don't know which way to turn, or don't know what to do about it, and we close down.
We do.
And I'm terrible for closing down, and I've done it, but is everything alright on that front now?
Yeah, luckily it is.
Luckily
it is. But it's still in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? And I'm still trying to understand it and just deal with other things that are currently going on as well at the same time, and I'm reacting in the same way as I always do, and that is to just take myself away, shut down. I don't want to speak to people, I just want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And it's not always the right way.
No, it's not, but you've got to also lean into it and do what's best for you. And some people can turn to alcohol like you did. Some people can go quiet, like we're obviously
I just focus on work so much, because I work a hell of a lot as it is. And it's a hard physical job in all weathers, all conditions. The weather, as you know, has been... Can I swear on it or not?
If you want to.
Fucking atrocious, you know what I mean?
Fucking terrible.
And obviously, working on my own, it's not like I've got someone sat next to me saying, should we get out, should we not?
Yeah.
It's 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm sat in my car, the rain's bouncing off the fucking window, it's January, I've just paid my tax bill, I've got not a lot of money, I've got a wife and 2 kids at home. Do I make that decision to get out of that car, get pissed wet through to the bones? I can't put my gazebo up that people told me to buy because it's like living on top of working on a mountain.
Yeah, it's getting
so it's windy
heavy
all the time. So it's
Don't
like...
look at me, I didn't tell you to buy a gazebo.
No, but everybody else did.
Yeah.
So I bought one. I think I've put it up like 5 times because it's always bloody windy.
But this is it. These are the pressures that we've got to make that decision to am I able to pay my bills? Am I able to provide for the family? I've got to get up. I've got to get out of bed.
But that's my mentality, regardless of how I'm feeling, whatever is going on around me. I have never ever missed a day's work because of anything. No matter how I'm feeling, I have never ever missed a day's work. Even when I'm poorly, I drag myself to work regardless, because it's just in my head that you must get up and you must go to work, and how emotionally you feel, mentally you feel, physically you feel, that doesn't matter. You've got a job to do and you need to go and do it.
Yeah.
Even if I don't need the money, it's me, and it's
ingrained in you as a person.
It's just how I am as a person, that regardless of what's going on around me, how I feel, that's what I do.
Yeah.
That is me.
Yeah.
And it just is.
I think as well, like,
I don't know how else to put it, you know what I mean?
Like I this week in the talks that I've been in around here, I brought like a bit in the talk where I talk about where I get up and I go out to work, because we do a physical job. You can physically see what you've done and you feel like you've achieved. So you can go out and you can dress a load of stone, and you can go out and cut all the stone and lay all the stone and everything like that, and you can feel, you can see that you've done something, you've made progress.
And feel like you've achieved
you
something.
feel like you've achieved something, whereas if you sat at home sitting in your own thoughts in your own head, like you say, you might not need to go out and do it. It helps break that cycle.
It's my routine as well. You know what I mean? But work sometimes is a release for me for what's going on, because don't get me wrong, when the weather's nice, my job is fantastic. I'm on my own, radio on, beer belly out, shorts on, you know what I mean, music on, and it's lovely, you know what I mean. But then come winter, like now, today for example,
it's not a good place to be, is it?
It's not a good place to be, because
it's been horrible today.
It's been horrible. I were inside luckily today, which is very rare. So yeah, I forgot what we were on about now.
I don't know, one of the cameras has gone off, I think, but that's standard, right? GoPros are wicked, but they like to shit themselves all the time.
Is that the one looking at you?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, maybe it's his face that's done it.
Yeah, it's got too overwhelmed with beauty, and it's.
How can somebody so handsome be on the screen for that long? But no, I think we do. I think that's it's a construction industry thing. I think because we do, like, we're all got that artistic side to do that. We're all creative. We all sit and do things with our hands, no matter what your trade is. And you're getting up and getting out and getting active, and it helps you feel better. It helps you release that stress and anger, and it allows you to be you.
Well, it's like, sorry to put in, it's like I've suffered with depression for a long time. I never missed work with it. That was probably my way of dealing with it, because it was like you were saying, like, it helps you forget, you know, and then like with the drink helped me forget. So did work, so I'd be focusing on work all day because I'm not thinking about everything else. And then I'd go and get pissed up. So then I'm not thinking about anything else again. But then it had a knock-on effect, because obviously alcohol's a depressant, isn't it? The next day, cycle. I'd be laid and the world would be ended, you know. So the only way to forget it is go out again. But
whereas mine would be to go to work. Because it's not to help me forget it. It's to help me understand it, which is weird to have two different.
It just shows that everybody's different.
Everybody's different, you know. So if you are out watching that and you are going through something at the moment, how you're handling it might be different to how somebody else is. But if it's right for you, then it's right for you. There's no unwritten rule on how to manage your mental health. That's why it's so hard to do it.
And the fact that you can't see it, it's like if you break your leg, it's a physical thing, you can see it, and you pretty much know what the treatment is, and then you'll get your leg in a cast, you'll recover from it, do a bit of physiotherapy, and within 6, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, you're sort of back to where you were. With the mental health stuff, it's a constant. You can't just switch it on and off. And then there's other times where obviously the stuff with your mum that has just gone on lately, it's brought it back to the forefront of your mind, and now you can move forward. That luckily come through that, coming out the other side of it, but you know that next time, right, I felt like this last time and this is what I did to look after myself, and you can start to bring those techniques in rather than leaning into the bad stuff. But in the same breath, you've got to remember that you're burying yourself into work all the time, and I'm the worst one for it, and there'll be people that are watching this screaming at me, but you got to learn when to stop as well. You got to learn when to stop, have the downtime. Because if you, like the van, imagine you ran the van solid, never change the oil, never switch the engine off, never change the coolant in it, it's going to go bang, and we're exactly the same. And also we've got, like Lee says to people when we do the talks, if we imagine yourself in a triangle of importance, where would you put yourself on that importance scale? Do you know what I mean?
I know what it'd be.
Where I'd put myself.
Yeah, where would you rate yourself on that importance scale? So
down
imagine,
there.
the most important person's at the top, and then everything else falls into place.
No, I'd be down there.
I'd say I was at the bottom holding everyone up.
But I'd say you need to be at the top. My flip of that is you need to be at the top. So all those people that are below and around you, that rely on you, kids, family, wife,
we've been saying this. We've been saying this recently with things that have been going on. Like I said to James, I said, if you're not all right, your wife, your kids, and everything else isn't all right. So you need to make sure that you're all right yourself. So in turn, everybody else is all right. You know,
exactly.
Until you start doing that, and I think it was either you or Lee that told me that.
Yeah.
It might have been you. I think Lee, I think you both told me.
Yeah.
Unless you're alright, everybody else that you provide for and look after isn't alright.
Exactly. And somebody said to me, it was a couple of weeks ago actually, and this person said it to me, and it really resonated with me, and it made me totally change the way I think about things. I was like, you know what, you are so right saying that, and that I wasn't putting myself forward because of like looking after myself, and they're like, well, if you don't look after yourself, how can you look after us? How can you look after them? How can you look after that? That if you're not caring for yourself, that means you're not caring for them.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I never thought about it like that. I was like, you're absolutely right. They were spot on with that information that they gave me, or that talking to me, and I was like, you're absolutely bang on. And it's right. If we don't look after ourselves, or we don't care for ourselves, that means we don't care for others, because we're not even looking after ourselves. Because if we can't look after ourselves, how can we care and provide for others?
You think you are. You think that you're doing everything for other people, but because you're putting yourself behind all the time.
Yeah.
It's like you're saying, like a van will go bang, you'll go bang.
Yeah.
You know, look at me on the bridge.
Yeah.
I got to that point and it was nearly bang. That then changed everything.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it can lead to something like that to change your mind and change your life around. But
I think
not everyone's as lucky that they don't actually.
Yeah.
You know, I was right there, and I stepped back. You know, another second would have been different.
Yeah, I'm glad you did step back.
So am I.
Good. Well, this is it. I think we do need to go through these things to help us appreciate stuff and its lessons and understanding, and because imagine both of you started your companies and instantly it was successful. You wouldn't appreciate the journey. You wouldn't appreciate getting to that point because you'd had no life lessons to get to where you are.
I think a lot of people expect it to happen like that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like we worked together for 16.5 years. James went self-employed before I did.
That was July 2022 I left.
Yeah.
I went self-employed. No, 2021.
Yeah, because I was
2021.
And then 6 months. Oh, it's 6 months.
April you were 22, weren't you?
Yeah, sure. It was about 6-7 months.
Yeah, because I'm like, we started chatting not long after you'd gone self-employed.
Yeah. So, I mean, for us to work together for so long in the same place, and then James left.
I just had enough, and I thought
you wanted to better yourself.
I wanted to better myself, and I thought, what I do, my job is very niche. And I were in management at the time, doing health and safety, and I am quite a people person. I'm a laugher and I'm a joker, and
you weren't so much when you were doing that.
No, but that wasn't me.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That wasn't me. So once again, I was putting a mask on to be
something different,
that I didn't want to be. You know what I mean? So anyway, I left, started my company, and my wife were like, go do it, I'm behind you, you can do it, you know, I always support you and everything like that, and
he's absolutely killing it.
And we did it, and nobody expected me to leave. I had a job for life there. I could have stayed there. I was part of fixture and fittings, you know what I mean, same as you was.
I built the fence around the place.
No, literally I did. So I left, started my business, which is stone dressing services. So I provide my services dressing stone, which if you don't know what dressing stone is, if you're not from Yorkshire, you probably won't know. It's backing off reclaimed stone to between 100mm and 150 on the bed to comply with modern day building regulations, or if it's new stone which is freshly quarried out of the ground, cut and sawn, you dress a new face on it. Or the fancy half round copings that I make because they look aesthetically pleasing to the eye on the camera. So I started doing that and providing a freelance service around, and it went absolutely crazy because there were no one else who did what I did on a freelance basis. They were all employed, and I don't even think I know a dresser who's as young as me, because it's a dying trade.
Yeah, is it like where I live? There's a lot of quarries and stuff like that, and stone dressers near me, but they are all old boys.
Yeah, they're all old boys. Time served.
And even the quarries now. So there was 3 quarries near me. There's 1.
Yeah.
And it's down to 1, and there's only 2 guys that I think that work in that. I think there's more excavators on there than there is people that work there.
So that's the thing that a lot of quarries are doing now. They seem to be going down the route of
aggregates.
They're not bothered about cutting up big slabs.
They're not bothered about block anymore.
No,
and it's a shame really, because stone is a nice thing to use, and yes, it's expensive, but if you look at buildings, they're still standing from fucking thousands of years ago.
Tartarians.
Oh, don't start with that shit.
Mud floods and all that, and advanced technologies is what I get all the time. Alien? Are you part alien?
Do you?
Yeah. Are you Egyptian? Could you build the pyramids? Constantly, my DMs are full of it. In your professional opinion, who built the pyramids? I'm like, mate, I don't know.
Kryss.
And it's just like...
Yeah, me grinder out in whatever year it was.
It's mental. It's just because I work with stone, I don't know how pyramids are made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't really care, to be honest.
That's the better one. I don't actually give a shit.
How did they do it? I don't know, but they did. Because they're there. Well, you know what I mean?
Quite evident that they did, because look.
Yeah.
We might have to Google it over dinner in a minute.
Like when some of my videos sort of started paying off, I know I've just jumped on the social media, is I put like tongue-in-cheek Egyptian audio over the top because it just sparks people arguing.
Debate, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just argue about Jesus, aliens, Tartarians, advanced technologies. I never even knew what Tartarian people apparently were till they all started commenting on it. So then I started using Tartarian audios, and it sort of
snowballed
took
from
off,
there, didn't it?
on a few things.
Yeah, because it's gone well for you now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive, mate. I can't believe it, to be honest with you.
Taking over your life yet?
I'm nearly sorry again. But on another thing, like going back to focusing, like people see you doing well and they think it's easy. It's not. I get up at 4:30 every morning to do my content because I don't like to do it at home when I'm with wife and kids. So I get up at 4:30, reply to the comments that I get my post ready, so then when I do get home after picking Poppy up from school, all I have to do is press a button.
Yeah.
I manage my TikTok and YouTube in the morning and my Facebook and Instagram on an evening.
Yeah.
Because my YouTube's got a bigger following in America, and TikTok, it doesn't really matter essentially what time you kind of post on there, because I don't really focus that much on TikTok.
It seems to be going well on every platform though now, doesn't it?
Well, like I say, I got my YouTube play button for hitting 100k, which were on I think it were 2nd of January.
Right.
And I only started YouTube in July.
Really?
Yeah. So in that time, it has had 60. I got a notification saying it had 60 million views in my channel, and it were mainly on shorts, but not on long content. And I would love to focus so much more on long content, but with me working on a price and the crap weather I've said, I don't have the time in my day or the financials. If I had a sponsor for my channel who were going to pay me to focus on content, then I'd love to be able to do that. But at the moment, I just have to
fit it in between everything else. Yeah.
And I will jump back on the long content at some point. But I do my shorts and I do my Instagram, which I love. I'm fortunate to be able to now work with some great brands, like with Scan, who I'm a brand ambassador for. That's why I'm always wearing my glasses. I was going to put them on for the thing, but I thought, no, let's not. But since Scan reached out to me, it's completely changed because I've helped build the brand. They didn't really have much of an identity on social media till I came on board, and we've helped build the brand, and you've been using their stuff. A lot of people now are using their stuff, and
really good
equipment,
stuff.
Really good. Like I say, I wear them in all my videos. If it would, I wear them because I like it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's another thing, in it. It's
I'm not just doing it for the sake of it.
It's like some of the stuff that I use. I mean, I've recently started using fine grinders, and I've been pushing them for them, and I use Elite Stone Tools stuff because I actually genuinely believe they're very good.
Yeah.
And it's not for, you get people saying stuff all the time like, oh, you're only saying that because they've sent you it. No, I'm not actually. I'm genuinely believing it. So I started using the fine grinders, and other stonemason started messaging me and asking me about it. So like, just try one.
Yeah.
I guarantee you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Not enjoy it as such, sorry, but you'll think it's good.
Yeah.
And every single person I've spoken to about them is now actually using them.
Yeah.
And they've messaged me and said, you know what, you were right.
Yeah.
They are absolutely amazing. And for a stonemason, they're unreal. So it's like, you use their products because how good they are. You don't just use them because of any other reason that they're giving you it or you're getting paid or whatever. Like a lot of people are focusing on with social media, like the bitterness and the negativity side of things. Like, you're only using that because they send you it, or you're only using that because they pay you. No, actually, I believe in it, like you do with Scan. And since you've been working with Scan, I've never noticed them really before. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think I've seen the stuff, but it's never really stood out. And then James started using it, and I was like, so James got me a few bits of gloves and stuff like that. I was terrible for wearing gloves, wasn't I?
Well, when I were in health and safety at Old Place, I used to have to bollock him every day.
Because I wouldn't have my glasses on, I wouldn't wear gloves because I didn't like them. Actually, I can actually wear them gloves and work in them.
So keep messaging me, can you get me some more gloves?
Like, well, you spoke about Mark before, didn't you, when you started? And obviously I live right by Mark. And I was on the phone to him last week. And he was telling, he's going through a stage at the minute. Obviously, his growth is ridiculous.
Oh, it's gone crazy, hasn't it?
But he's like they're just attacking everybody in the videos now.
Yeah.
It's like the dark side of social media, and people think, oh right, you've got, well, with him, he's nearly at 2 million followers, isn't he? Across everything, and it's like it's a full-time job to try and keep all the comments at bay and stuff like that.
Well, I spent a day with him, didn't I?
Which one's gone off? That one.
Yeah, it's run out of memory.
Ran out of memory. Never thought I'd say that. Well, I guess we'll have to finish on that camera.
So we're looking at this one.
So we're looking at this one.
So we've dwindled from that one, now that one.
Yeah, well, we're down to the last one, and that one usually overheats. But I guess we'll wrap it up because we're running out of equipment here. But boys, thank you very much for coming down and having a chat with us. It's been brilliant. Thanks for easing me back into all this. We've had equipment failure. We can hear everything, all the fridges that are in the background, and we're actually in as you can tell, I'm in another premiering because I'm out on tour, so there's been a lot of background noise and everything like that. But the important thing is, three mates have sat here, just had a chat, a catch up, and that's how you check in with your mates. We've learnt stuff about each other, and we're now going to go and have some food, and we're going to carry on talking and enjoying it all.
My favourite thing.
Yeah, it's Chris's favourite thing.
I love food. Like a real UK. I love food.
And I'm off to work.
Yeah, no beer for me anymore.
You've all seen me with me like in middle at 6
o'clock
in the morning.
But if we've mentioned anything in this episode that's touched a nerve or made you think that, oh, that's me, maybe I need a little bit of help and support, there'll be contact details in the description below of where you can get that help and support. And if you know somebody who's going through something right now and they might need a little bit of help and support, send them the episode. But other than that, thank you very much, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. So hopefully all my equipment works on the next one. One day I'll do an episode where there's nothing that goes wrong on it, but we'll keep going and we'll keep trying, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, boys. Well done. Knock that bottle over again.